was to buy 6 red hens and a hive full of bees. He spent all autumn digging over the garden at the front of the house so it would be ready for spring. When it rained, the garden turned to mud, and the mud was trailed everywhere in the house. They even found it on their bed sheets. When winter came, a fox ate the hens without them ever having laid an egg, and the bees all froze to death, which was unheard of according to their father, who said he was going to put all those things in the book, the novel he was writing. "So that's all right then," their mother said. Their father wrote at the kitchen table because it was the only room in the house that was even the slightest bit warm, thanks to the huge temperamental Aga that their mother said was going to be the death of her. "I should be so lucky," their father muttered. His book wasn't going well. They were all under his feet, even their mother. "You smell of soot," their father said to their mother, "and cabbage and milk." "And you smell of failure," their mother said. Their mother used to smell of all kinds of interesting things, paint and turpentine and tobacco and the Je Reviens perfume that their father had been buying for her since she was 17 years old and a Catholic schoolgirl, and which meant, "I will return," and was a message to her. Their mother was a beauty, according to their father, but their mother said she was a painter, although she hadn't painted anything since they moved to Devon. "No room for 2 creative talents in a marriage," she said, in that way she had, raising her eyebrows while inhaling smoke from the little brown cigarillos she smoked. She pronounced it cigarillo, like a foreigner. When she was a child, she had lived in faraway places that she would take them to one day. She was warm-blooded, she said, not like their father, who was a reptile. Their mother was clever and funny and surprising, and nothing like their friends' mothers. "Exotic," their father said. The argument about who smelled of what wasn't over, apparently, because their mother picked up a blue and white striped jug from the dresser and threw it at their father, who was sitting at the table, staring at his typewriter as if the words would write themselves if he was patient enough. The jug hit him on the side of the head, and he roared with shock and pain. With a speed that Joanna could only admire, Jessica plucked Joseph out of his high chair and said, "Come on," to Joanna, and they went upstairs where they tickled Joseph on the double bed that Joanna and Jessica shared. There was no heating in the bedroom, and the bed was piled high with eiderdowns and old coats that belonged to their mother. Eventually, all 3 of them fell asleep, nestled in the mingled scents of damp and mothballs and Je Reviens. When Joanna woke up, she found Jessica propped up on pillows, wearing gloves and a pair of earmuffs and one of the coats from the bed, drowning her like a tent. She was reading a book by torchlight. "Electricity's off," she said, without taking her eyes off the book. On the other side of the wall they could hear the horrible animal noises that meant their parents were friends again. Jessica silently offered Joanna the earmuffs so that she didn't have to listen. When the spring finally came, instead of planting a vegetable garden, their father went back to London and lived with his other woman, which was a big surprise to Joanna and Jessica, although not apparently to their mother. Their father's other woman was called Martina, the poet. Their mother spat out the word as if it was a curse. Their mother called the other woman the poet, names that were so bad that when they dared to whisper them, bitch, cunt, whore, poet, to each other beneath the bedclothes, they were like poison in the air. Although now there was only one person in the marriage, their mother still didn't paint. They made their way along the lane in single file, Indian file, their mother said. The plastic shopping bags hung from the handles of the buggy, and if their mother let go, it tipped backwards onto the ground. "We must look like refugees," she said. "Yet we are not downhearted," she added cheerfully. They were going to move back into town at the end of the summer, in time for school. "Thank God," Jessica said in just the same way their mother said it. Joseph was asleep in the buggy, his mouth open, a faint rattle from his chest because he couldn't shake off a summer cold. He was so hot that their mother stripped him to his nappy, and Jessica blew on the thin ribs of his little body to cool him down until their mother said, "Don't wake him."